The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the Wrestling to the Max WWE 205 live review for July 18, 2017. And I'm your host, Sean Garmer, and here with me is Harry Broadhurst, who will probably become the more permanent person doing this, barring an emergency fill-in or something, as we are trying to be fair to Paul, who up until, when we've had Harry here, he has to do every show, and, it's kind of not fair because I basically get Raw and NXT off. I'm not off. I do other podcasts, but that doesn't concern those guys, so I sat there and thought today, I was like, we need to figure out something so Paul can have a night off, because Gary gets SmackDown and 205 off, while Paul and I were doing it, so Harry is now the permanent SmackDown and 205 guy. Hopefully you enjoy what he has to say. He always has wonderful commentary, and we get into debates here, so that's good stuff. And you guys on YouTube seem to very much enjoy him on SmackDown last week. So, Harry, you wanted to talk about this opening contest here. Harry? Uh-oh. Oh. Didn't, just now saw that the call dropped, apparently. Well, nice to know that I was talking to myself that entire time. That's always great when Skype decides that it wants to be a butt and do this kind of thing to you. But, alright, so until Harry comes back on here, which Skype is showing him as not online, so until I get him back on, this is what we're going to do here. We're going to start off with the opening contest, which was what they built around for the opening of this show. They actually had a really good opening video, kind of outlining the feud from Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak. I just thought this was one of the best ones they've done. That I haven't seen something this good for 205 Live in a while. This has been well built too. The no-fly zone thing for Drew Gulak and the Mustafa Ali deal where he beat him without having to fly and everything else. And then when Gulak finally did fly, he lost as well. So they had a 2 out of 3 falls match, as Gulak had requested on the previous show. And man, and I thought they did this well I think when I had, I don't know if Harry was the one that was on for this. I think it was him. We talked about how they should have done this with Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar as well for the I Quit match, because those matches tend to go long, and you can't just cram an I Quit match like that. So, for me, this is the best deal. This is the match you're hyping, right? But this allows them to have the most time, because, okay, if this runs long, you say, okay, they're having a good match here, let's let them go, and they let them go for about 17 minutes. All right, they earned it. Right? And so they let them have the time, and I really very much appreciated this, and I think it benefited from having that time. Of course, so, Ali went for a pinning combo really quick after failing on a crucifix, and he gets that cradle and wins in about 2 minutes. So Gulak is pissed, and then goes out to the outside, and so he starts trying to to go back in there and get back at Ali. Ali actually sort of tongue in cheek goes for another roll up. Then Gulak throws him to the floor again. You get some more Ali going with some high risk stuff. He does that rolling neck breaker, goes to the floor, hits that baseball slide, and then Gulak finally gets out of that, and you get a big Hurricane Rana by Ali, and then but Gulak actually holds on to it, power bombs him, and gets a 2. Then you get a reverse Rana, which was sick. That looks so good. And then you get the big flip dive from Ali, and Gulak is knocked down. And he keeps going with these flying moves, but then he's able to counter that into a tornado DDT, and he eventually gets the big dragon sleeper for 2. For the tap out, move that we haven't seen him use a lot. We saw him; it was his finisher in the Cruiserweight Classic, but he finally gets to do it here, and he gets the big tap out. Gulak just hits a freaking nasty lariat after that. Almost gets it. He almost gets it, but then Gulak again goes up top here. He hesitates, and that hesitation screws with him as Ali hits a big top rope Frankenstein, and then he gets that imploding 450, and then Mustafa Ali wins. So Mustafa Ali gets the 2-1 win. This means the high-risk stuff continues. I love the story here with Gulak. He had lost quickly, regained his footing, got to win with a submission. It looked like things were starting to go his way, and then when he goes high risk, he loses again. So, again, teaching him that his no-fly zone really does work for Gulak. He really doesn't need to be flying here. So then we get Tozawa. Of course, we found out on Raw after he was going against Davari, but Titus threw in the towel to stop the match. And Tozawa was pissed because he never quits. And, Titus was protecting his investment as a manager. He wanted to make sure that he could go on to fight another day. And Apollo Crews comes in here this is now 205 Live. Apollo Crews comes in backstage. I think this was sort of filmed earlier, saying, look, man, Titus looks out for us. I had the same problem with the Strowman fight. I thought Titus was crazy. I was pissed at him. Then when I looked back, I saw that Titus was fighting for me and everything. And so he's basically just telling him, like, look, Titus did his job and he got you that rematch. Just, you don't lose faith in him. He's doing his job. So, we cover for that after the sort of rocky relationship that already happened after that first week with a good promo here from Apollo Crews, I thought. I think he works better in these scripted segments. I wish you would get to see more of him on Raw, but that's neither here nor there right now. But we do get the Tozawa and Davari sort of main events, and this was a good 9-minute match here or so, 8 to 9 minutes. Tozawa basically tries to keep Davari from hurting his shoulder, which is taped up across his body, so it's very identifiable. That he's there and he's getting hit, right, with that. That's going to go into this. And so, we get Davari going in and hitting chops, and then Tozawa goes and hits a drop kick and that running kick, the standing senton after that. Davari sort of backs off. You get a big right from Tozawa. After that, Davari misses, and then Tozawa sort of fights him off. Davari basically just now starts hitting him in the shoulder. So he works on everything. Tozawa goes with the Hurricane Rana, and Davari tries to again go for the shoulder, but he misses. You get the Shining Wizard, and the crowd really into Tozawa here. as Davari attacks that arm and goes with the divorce court. And Davari tries and hits that frog splash, which is interesting for him to do. But Tozawa winds up winning in the end. Cradles and grabs the tights. He picks up the win. And it's a good win. It's a good win for Tozawa to kind of get back. Now he's sort of righted that wrong. Davari again taking opportunities to try to go for that shoulder, but it just didn't work for him here. I'm glad that Tozawa just didn't win outright with a big move. He sort of had to kind of escape as well, allowing for that injury to sort of be the thing where he gets through. And, but they do the thing where the heel gets the heat at the end. Tozawa escapes with a win, but Davari attacks him, targets that shoulder, and Tozawa is laying in the ring, and Davari's standing tall. So now again, Tozawa's probably going to come into Raw being pissed, and will probably want to take a shot at Davari, and that's understandable. It kind of keeps this thing going. Obviously Neville is also going after Tozawa as well, but he wasn't on this show, so it keeps things moving. It keeps Tozawa into this, and we'll see what happens on Raw with them. They're really pushing Tozawa, I think, as sort of the second star of 205 Live right now, and I'm glad that he has a starring role. I think that's just deserved, as he's getting over with the crowds, with the Ha thing, and all that, and I'm glad somebody's recognizing that, because that's what 205 Live needs, is star power right now. And so, I think what the direction they do here with the main event of Ali is, with Ali and Gulak starting out, they get the big match to get the time, and then you ending it with the match that you had really promoted on Raw with Tozawa and Davari. I think it's nice bookends. In the middle, you get the Brian Kendrick stuff with Gallagher, where instead of making fun of Gallagher here, he goes with Bennett. Devin Bennett, I think we've seen him before on 205 Live. Kendrick finds out that Bennett is also from Manchester, so he kind of makes fun of the fact that he's from Manchester. And like, oh, you're from the same place as Jack Gallagher. That means you're going to lose just like him. Bennett really just doesn't get a lot in here. Kendrick just gets in that captain's hook and wins. And it's a short thing to make Kendrick look a total asshole. I think it works here. You don't have to have everything have a long match. When you have two matches that take about almost 30 minutes of the show, you're going to have the other segment be shorter, and I think that's fine. Kendrick has been this asshole guy. It's been working for him, and yeah. So I think that's going to do it for 205. Harry, I guess, had phone problems, so we're going to have to pick it up next week with Harry being on here. That kind of sucks that he did. He was really interested in being on for this and talking about especially the big first match. But all right, so this is going to be kind of a shorter and sweeter one. Sorry about that. Sometimes technical issues happen. And yeah, we're going to just kind of end it here. That's the show for 205 Live. Make sure you listen to our SmackDown review that Harry and I did. Went almost an hour. We had a lot to talk about on that, as it was the go home for Battleground. Paul and Gary did Raw. They'll do NXT. Of course, we already did part 1 of W2M. They talked about the Taya and Sexy Star, big AAA thing, an ROH TV review, and more. Paul and I are going to do the night 1 of G1, so if you're into that, be ready to see that on your on-demand as well. Make sure you check us out on 401w2net.com, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, wherever it is, Google Play, wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe, hit that button, check out w2net.com, 401mania.com, everything else. For myself, for Harry, and we'll see you next week, guys.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.